Hello, Stacy. How are you? Can you hear me? Bum ba da bum bum. Okay, good. Did you work on anything this afternoon? Like rolling in rhythm or the singles and doubles? We didn't get into the doubles this afternoon. Still hurting, but that's okay. I'll deal with it. Old age is what it is. And that childhood injury is flaring up. It comes and goes, but it's okay. It'll go. Hoist, how you doing? Being that you're here this early, did you understand the singles or you want me to go over some? We only did the first page, I think. I wanted to start the doubles. You worked on the singles, okay. Now, there's a lot of things, a lot of guys or people practice 4 or 5 hours a day, and you know what happens is they don't really accomplish a whole lot but spending time, which is okay. It's not arthritis. It's not arthritis. Anyway, what I'm trying to say, I did an exercise. Well, no, I don't want to do that until we get into the Charlie Wilcoxon. Can you see the pad okay? Let me see if that works. Boy, what a delay. Dennis. Let's see if that works. But nope, don't work better. I got to come in this way. That's better. I want you guys to see my hands. Having all those Facebook groups, that should look better now. I'll fix it. There you go. That's better. Okay, so, everybody tries to play something real fast, or they'll practice fast all the time. Now, the thing is, if you start off at ground zero and you start off correctly, you're only going to go forward correct. You're only going to develop sweetly, okay? The thing about playing this kind of instrument is to totally be relaxed, not only physically, but mentally. There's a lot of uncertainties. A lot of people can go like this, and yeah, that's delusional. Or what's the word? There's an illusion that occurs. This particular method is called the seesaw method. Okay? I don't teach that. But however, when I go like this, it does look like I am seesawing, but I'm not. What happens if I play this, if I'm playing eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, I have time. I don't have time to wait for the stick to come up. So this is occurring and this is occurring. But if it's a right hand lead, this is occurring in a different place. So the first thing you want to do with the singles is there's a lot to observe here. It's not about, oh man, I could play them at 9,000 miles an hour. Well, good. Then you don't need this. But after you finish this, you're going to have a clean, smooth sound and an endurance thing that can last 5 or 6 minutes without exhausting any kind of energy. Now, what I mean, if you see when I'm doing a full stroke, there's no energy there. I just throw the stick down. It comes back and I follow it. Same thing with the left. Okay, so that's occurring when you're doing it slow. It's going to make a transition to this as you pick up the speed, but it's not the seesaw method. It's this, and this in a different place. Look. It looks like I'm seesawing. See that? Okay, so now what you want to do, and it's not about, all right, I can do it at 190. That's no good. Here's what you want to do. Three, E, and the 4, E, and the 1. The slower you play this, the faster you will become. Now, if you see when I'm playing just 16ths, say I start at 3, 3, E, and the, I'm waiting for that stick to come back before I make the next stroke. And my sticking heights, if you look at them now, they're equal. So if I went 3 back, E, and the, and now 4, E, back. Now the same thing with the 30 seconds, and the. I try to wait until the stick comes back, and that's practicing slow. And I'm trying to maintain a right hand and left hand equal in sound. Okay? Now, actually, the more you practice it like this, if you did this for 5 minutes with the metronome, three, E, and the 4, E, and the 1. You will be benefiting more from that, doing it that way, that slow, as opposed to, sorry. If you start there, you're not going nowhere. Start slow. Now, you want to distribute the work equally. So if when I start with the right hand, it's a right hand lead. If you're righty, you're strong. If you're, and then when you get to the left, you're not so strong. So you got to really work on equalizing the right and equalizing the left. So if I do the exercise from the first line, the first 2 measures, and repeat them, it's like Dennis said, I got confused this afternoon. I forgot I put the doubles in. I wanted to show you one line at a time. But I'm going to make the transition from the first line to the second line effortlessly. 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and 1. Now there was no effort there. I just let the stick do it. When you prevent the stick from doing what it's supposed to do, when it's being released from your wrist to the surface, you have to be relaxed and let the stick rebound. If I didn't stop the stick, that's a control stroke. I mean, I'm not tense there. That's a downstroke. But if I go like this, it's relaxed. I could play this all day. The only time I'd have to get up from playing it is that I'm a smoker, I have to go outside for a cigarette, or I have to go to the John. But it's simple. Okay? Now, take one exercise at a time. The first page has exercise 1, exercise 2, exercise 3. Approach this, okay, the way you started at line 1 with the full strokes. I'm going to do number 3. All right, I did put an accent there. All right, so it would be 1, E, and the. That comes later. Right now, we can eliminate the accent, and we're going to do exercise number 3. 1, E, and the. 2, E, and the. 3, E, and the. 4, E, and the. 1, E, and the. 2, E, and the. 3, E, and the. 4, E, and 1. Now what I try to do is equalize that sound. And by doing it slow, if one hand is stronger than the other, well, you make the adjustments so they're equalized. That's going forward, not sitting here going, yeah. That's not doing you any good. So you want to slow it down and make sure everything's in proportion. Now, when I play, I don't think about this. I just play because I put it in place through my practice method. I make sure that right hand, it's not. You see, you want this. 1, E, and equalizing the stroke. Do we agree with that, gentlemen, ladies, and people, or guys? I don't want to go any further today with the singles. I think one page of singles is enough, just to start with. Now, let's hit up on the doubles. Same principle. Okay, so where's the pages? Gee, come on, page, where'd you go? Hold on. That's page 4, doubles. And I did this without accents. And some work with the turnaround. A couple don't. So if I did line 1, okay, that doesn't, all right, that doesn't make it with the turnaround. So go from line 1 and the line below it, make it line 1A. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this and send it to you. So the first guy, no accents. 1, E, and, the, 2, E, and, the, 3, E, and, the, 4, E. I made a mistake there. 4, wait a minute, 4, E, and 1. No, it's not 1A, 1B. I'm sorry. I'm a little dizzy from this vertigo, so bear with me and we'll do it right. Okay, line 1. Exercise 1 rather, doubles. You're making that transition. 4E, and 1. Because you're coming to the left. All right, line 1, nice and easy. 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and 1. Now, how many of you guys have metronomes? You all should have a metronome. And if you tell me the kind of metronome you have. Now, I have what they call, let me put it over here if I could. It's called the Boss metronome. This is the second one I've had in my career. That's good. That's a good app on your phone. Okay. See, what's good about this guy, it has an adapter to put through a sound system. I'm going to find out how to put this on the new board that I have. I think, since 2 weeks ago, I think the quality of the sound and the visual has definitely become better. Now, this metronome it's not made anymore. It's called the Boss, Dr. Beat. Okay, so this is the second one I had. The first one I had lasted me maybe 15, 16 years. And I'd use it all the time. So one day in my practice, I changed the tempo, hit the on button, and the thing blew up. I mean, literally blew up. I said, whoa. And I said, oh, well, they don't make them anymore. What am I going to do? Well, fortunately, a friend of mine he's very visible in the drum community. He worked at the drum shop in New York City. It's no longer the Modern Drum Shop in New York City. And he's a drummer, he's a teacher, and he plays very, very well. But his forte was tuning drums and repairing drums. So one of his friends was going out of business in the music store and had a few of those Dr. Beats. And he sent me one, and I paid absolutely nothing for it. Okay, you know, the first metronome I ever had was the wind-up metronome. It used to go like tick, tock, tick, tock. And it was funny because the first time I used the metronome, I'd be going tick, tick, tock, tick, and I'm trying to hit the tick, and I couldn't hit it. So I took it back to the place where I purchased it and said something's wrong with it. He turned it on and looked at me real strange. And I didn't really like that one. So I bought another one called the Franz metronome. It was a dial, had a light on top of it. And that lasted a long time. It was a tick, 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 tick. And then this one. All right, doubles again. I'm sorry, I go off. Line one, equalizing the stroke. The slower you play it, the better off you're going to be. The cleaner eventually you're going to be. Full strokes, 1, E, and this is exercise 1. Doubles. 3, E, and 4, E, and 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and 1. Do we understand that? Dennis, do you understand it? We're on the doubles now. Hoist, do you understand it? There's a stroke and rebound. You know, everybody has a different approach when it comes to teaching double strokes. And no matter how long you've been playing or how sensitive your ears are, when you're playing open strokes like this, that right hand and that left hand is giving you two different sounds. It's so slight and minimized that you can't hear it. Minimal, rather, is a better word. And a lot of people just go, just drop it. So they grab it after the second stroke. And you'll see them doing doubles, like grabbing their fingers. And I learned doubles from the drum corps. I used to beat the shit out of a drum pad or my parents' furniture. Practice all day. Until I felt the doubles. Okay? And they came. And I used my arms. I relaxed the arms. Okay, so the same process here happens, okay? Exercise 1, exercise 2, exercise 3. The same kind of extensions you have on the singles, you have on the doubles. Okay, so you do exercise 1, exercise 2, exercise 3. Okay? Got it? Equalizing the stroke, throwing it down. You'll benefit more like practicing like that than this. Got it? In nomine Padre. Oh, mercy, Lord. Okay. Are there any questions? This is a great exercise. And remember, the slower you do it, the faster you will become and cleaner you will become. Any questions? Everybody understands it. You have 1 and 3 on the doubles, 1 and 3 on the singles. Okay? Now this afternoon, earlier this afternoon, I did rolling and rhythm. I think I did the first 2 lines. Anybody tried that? Hello? Some response, please. Rolling and rhythm. Any questions on that, the first 2 lines? I need some response here for me to go on to the 3rd line. It's actually measure number 9. I'm going to take it from 8 to 9. Hello, Randy. Well, I tried to go over rolling and rhythm. We went over the first line, maybe the second line, somewhat. Where we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 measures. Are there any questions on the 8 measures? You play rolling in rhythm? It's a good exercise because we're going to do it in singles as well. But the thing here is to do it slow. If I take from line 2, I'm going to maintain a 16th note count, 1, E, and the, okay? So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to maintain the levels. Now I'm going to do number 2, okay? 1, E, and the, 1, E, and the. What happened? 1, E, and the 2. I'm doing 30 seconds. I'm sorry. Line number 2, 1, E, and the 2, E, and the 1, E, and the 2, E, and the 1, E, and the 2, E, and the 1, E, and the 2, E, and 1. Now the levels have to be, all right, I mean, I'm not going to play this fast. I'm going to do it slow. Let's get to the 3rd line, okay? That's measure number 9. Do we all know how to play that? Measure number 9. Hey, Randy, are you going to become a member of my site anytime soon? All right, let's get to line 3. Everybody have line 3? That's measure number 9. Now, I'm not going to label these as what kind of rudiment it is. I'm going to label it as it's a figure with the level. Now, you look at line number 9, you're going to have 1, E, and the 2, E, and the. That's my position. Want me to go over that again slowly? Line number 3, measure number 9. 1, E, and the 2, E, and. That should have been down. 1, E, and the 2, E, and the 1, E, and the 2, E, and the 1, E, and the 2, E, and the 1, E, and the 2, E, and the. Do we understand that? Jim, Hoist, Dennis, Stacy? Dennis, we understand how I'm doing the levels in there? It's going to do you a whole lot of good to slow it down and do it with the levels. Number 3, I'm going to do the first measure, line 9. It's going to be a free stroke, 1. Now, why is it a free stroke? Well, look at my next right. It's an accent. So I'm going to have 1, E, and the. Now it's got to be a downstroke. 2. Why is it a downstroke? Well, look at the up and coming right. There's no accent. So I have 1, E, and the 2, E, and the 3 E and the 4 E and the 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E and the. Do you understand the levels? It's important because if you speed it up, that's what it's occurring. So when you do it this slow, you're putting everything in place. The slower you play this, the faster it will become. I will do line 3 over to that's 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'll go to 12, I'll stop. 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and 4 E and the 1 E and the 2 E, the 3 E and 4 and the. You can't, play it enough. Go to line 4, number 13. You're playing doubles. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and it's in 2. I'm sorry. 1 E and E and 1 E and 2 E and. So you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. It's a 15-stroke roll if you want to get technical. Do we understand that? You understand the levels, Randy? Dennis, you understand the levels? Hoist? Jim? Robert? Stacy, do you understand the levels? If you don't, I'm going to give you an exercise right now that will aid that. So come up and tell me the truth. And it'll be some sort of review for the other players here. They say in the background and say, oh, okay, I know it, but you got the levels, Dennis? You understand it. How about you, Stacy? It's important that you do this. I get Jimmy understands it. You understand the levels. All right. Well, let me just give you a simple exercise that as to loosening up with the levels. If I reference off the stick control book, line 1 said, okay, I'm going to play just the rights, and I'm going to reference off the stick control book, line 1, and I'm just going to play the rights, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. So here's exercise number 1. I'm going to lay this on the bottom, 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Now I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to accent 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you break it down, it's down, up, down, up, down, up. If I go to line 2 and I'm doing this on the bottom, the right falls on the ands. 1 and 2 and. So it's up, down, up, down, up, down. Go to line 3, 2 rights in a row. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm playing this. Line 3. Just a warm up. Now, I did 3 lines, and you want to do 3 lines, say with the left hand. It's the same interpretation, not going to change it. We're going to switch to the left as the accent. No, the rights are going to stay as the accent. I'm playing this underneath. So I'm going to accent on the count, the first line, the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Make up your own method of exercising. We understand it. Now you can do that with the whole stick control book. I have PDFs on it. From the new people, they don't have it. But we all understand it. It's important. The same thing when you're doing the paradiddles. Single paradiddle. Down, up, tap, tap. That's what's occurring when you're playing paradiddles. If I play my paradiddles here, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is not very fast, all right? Because I'm telling you, I'm having problems with that left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And if you were taking a video of me playing that paradiddle, and had a metronome, the camera had a metronome, and you slowed it down to as slow as it possibly can get, you would see this. Down, up, tap, tap. Down, up, tap, tap. That's what's occurring when I'm playing. You understand it? So, there's a lot of work, a lot of practice, and there's no way in hell everybody can practice everything, in one day or one sitting. So when you sit down and practice, what I found very fruitful and productive is I take one thing that I want to work on, and I stay on that for 3-4 hours. Sure, I have a million other things to do, but that one thing I spent 3 or 4 hours on becomes stronger. And that's going to lead you into other areas without really not even practicing. We got the single, the double, paradiddle, paradiddle, double. Here's another one. I'm just going off today. This was written in 1935 by W.F.L. It was in one of his books he published, I think one of the first publications. You say what you do. Paradiddle, paradiddle, double, paradiddle, double, paradiddle, triple, double, paradiddle, triple, double, paradiddle, paradiddle, diddle. Back. Triple, double, paradiddle, triple, double, paradiddle, paradiddle, diddle. Okay? Now, all these things you got to go back and practice. It's not that I'm being repetitious, but it's stuff that you need to do and need to understand. Oh, and you can never work on it. My hands are really down. They really are. I have a video if you want to take note of it. It's from the Joe Morello book. I think it's page 7, 1 through 5. And it's at 208. It's smoking. That's my levels were up, my hands were up a little bit better. And just recently, from not practicing actually, and working all these computers and sound systems and writing lessons, I got very little time to really practice. So now I'm back, and in about another 2 or 3 weeks, I should have my hands back, providing physically my left hand gets better. I am on medication. And I don't want to overwhelm you too much, but tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be back on the drum set, okay? And we're going to work on the workbook. Now, Stacy, you don't have the workbook. I'll send you a couple PDFs on it. And it's actually from the Gary Shafee book, Time Functions. Do you have that book, Stacy? Gary Shafee's Time Functions, the fat back exercises. If not, I'll send you one we're going to work on tomorrow. Now, are you viewing this on a phone, Stacy? You're getting a good clear picture and a good clear sound, or you're on a computer? Hey, Jimmy, you okay? Dennis? Robert? Oh, okay, you have his pattern series. Good for you. Oh, okay, you don't need it. Okay, very good. So we're going to work on one of the fat back patterns. Are you getting a clear picture out of that? And don't you have a computer? What's that? A lot of your older videos slowed down at 90, the 100 beats per minute. What are you talking about? Jimmy, what are you talking about? If I posted it's at 208, the metronome's on 208, so how could it slow down? I don't understand. My whole thing is the slower you practice, the more control you're going to obtain. If you have control, speed will come. Without control, no speed. Jimmy, elaborate on that. Okay. Jimmy, elaborate on that. A lot of your older videos slowed down at 90. I don't know which video you're talking about. The Morello book, 1 through 7 at 208. All right, good. All right, any questions on anything tonight? I will be back. You used to say in your older videos 290 when you were at 110. I don't remember that, Jim. You know, you can be more specific on which video we speak of. But, you know, well, I do lessons slow. Like I said, I get a lot of feedback. Oh, you're too stiff. Oh, you look like a machine. No, I don't look like a machine, and I'm definitely not stiff. I play it slow. I slow it down, and what I reinforce or explain rather first what is occurring with the motion, and I do the motion slow, and then from that point it develops itself, the speed. All my older lessons. All right. Well, I don't know. You got to be more explicit. I mean, elaborate. Okay. Any questions on anything that we covered tonight? Dennis, Hoist? Tomorrow on the drum set, the stick control book formulas. Not formulas, the workbook. Just to let you know, 1 o'clock on the drum set. Any questions? Anything you want to discuss? Next week, I'm going to have, hopefully, my website complete. Not totally complete, but I'm going to be adding on to that. I am going to have options. Right now, for membership, it's $19.99 for 1 month reoccurring. You're welcome, Jim. And I'm giving 2 more options. Okay, 6 months and 1 year. You're welcome. So whoever wants to discontinue their monthly membership and maybe go over to 6 months or to a year, that's entirely up to you. But don't stop. You know, if you're going to change from 1 month to 6 months, you know, be cool. Okay? And if you do 6 months, I might put a little bonus in it. Maybe send you something. You're welcome, Dennis. Did you understand everything we did tonight? I can go over something if you don't understand it. How about you, Hoist? Okay, thanks, and bye to you too. Have a good night. Robert, did you understand everything? Okay. I'm going to sign off. You understand, all right. Dennis understands. Hoist understands. Stacy understands. Jim understands. Robert, how about you? All right, tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m., this channel, drum set. Okay? From the patterns series, or you have the workbook. Got it? Okay, guys, have a good night.